Everyone, good morning. You have reached the Human K channel. Roger's diffusion of innovations is an interesting idea that we'll learn more about today. This theory, which is based on communication, tells us a lot about how people and social processes share ideas and products. Let's start by looking at the most important parts of an idea and how they affect how quickly it spreads. Rogers says that how people see an idea is the most important factor in whether or not they use it. Compatibility and relative benefit are two factors that affect adoption rates, while complexity is a deterrent. How simple it is to try and how simple it is to see has an impact on the adoption process as well. Let's learn more about the idea of perceived traits and how they affect how people use new ideas. Let's look at a few cases to help us understand this better. Relative advantage is the degree to which a new idea is seen as better than what's already out there. For example, let's say there was a new model of smartphone with more features, a longer battery life, and better speed. People are more likely to buy this new model if they think it has clear benefits over their current phones, such as faster processing, better camera features, and better battery life. Compatibility is how well a new idea fits with a person's current values, needs, and experiences. For example, think about a new fitness app that works well with current fitness trackers and gives users personalized workout plans based on their goals and preferences. If people find that the app works well with their current exercise routines and doesn't cause too much trouble in their daily lives, they are more likely to use it. On the other hand, confusion can stop people from using something. People may be hesitant to use a new idea if they think it is too confusing or hard to understand and use. Take a new piece of software made for professional visual design as an example. If the interface is too complicated and requires a lot of training and technical know-how, it may stop people from using the innovation because they think it will be too hard to add to their process. Trialability means that people can try out a new idea on a small scale before making a full commitment to it. Think about a new streaming service that gives users a free trial to check out its features and content without having to pay anything. During this trial period, people can see how useful and helpful the service is before deciding to subscribe. By giving people a chance to try out and evaluate the new idea, it becomes more appealing and is more likely to be used. Observability is a measure of how clear and easy it is for others to see the results and benefits of an idea. For example, let's think about the use of solar cells in homes. It's a form of social proof if neighbors or other people in the community can see how a homeowner's solar panels lower his or her energy costs or help the environment by reducing his or her carbon footprint and power bill. This is a factor that can make other people in the neighborhood think about getting solar panels. By understanding these perceived characteristics and how they affect adoption, innovators and marketers can come up with strategies that highlight the relative advantage, compatibility, trialability, and observability of their innovations. This lets them deal with possible problems, make complicated parts easier to understand, give people a chance to try it out, and show off the benefits to get more people to use it. Aside from the traits, the rate of adoption is also affected by the type of innovation and the communication methods that are used. Innovation choices can be made on an individual, group, authority, or contingent basis. On the other hand, communication channels are very important at different times of diffusion. Nearby peers often serve as role models. Let's look at the idea of social systems and how they affect how quickly people adopt new ideas. We can look at a few cases to show this. Imagine that the site of a university is a social system. Within this system, different groups like students, professors, administrators, and staff work together to solve problems and share information. If a new educational tool, like an online learning platform, is introduced, the university's social system will have a big impact on how it is used. The framework of the system, including the ways people talk to each other and the way things are set up in a hierarchy, is very important. For example, if professors or department heads with a lot of power use the online learning platform and tell their colleagues and students about how great it is, it creates a good environment for adoption. The social system makes it easier for innovation to spread because it is stable and has well-established communication routes. Also, early adopters among the teachers or in the student body can speed up the process by getting together in cliques or interest groups. These groups act as centers of influence and give other people social permission to use the new idea. In the same way, let's think of a hospital as a social system. In this situation, the units that are linked could be doctors, nurses, administrators, and patients. If a new medical technology, like a telemedicine platform, is introduced, its use will be affected by the social system of the healthcare company. The framework of the system, including the way people already talk to each other and work together, is a big part of the diffusion process. For example, if well-known doctors or healthcare leaders talk about the benefits of telemedicine and show examples of how it has been used successfully, it builds trust and confidence in the system. Information about the innovation can be spread through stable and well-known communication methods, such as medical conferences or professional associations. Also, making network links within the social system makes it easier for innovation to spread. If a doctor or nurse is one of the first to use telemedicine, they may form networks where they can share their experiences and best practices and help their peers. These professional relationships and trust-based network links act as channels for information and influence, which speeds up the process of adoption. In both cases, the social and communication processes within each system are very important to how new ideas spread. If change agents and innovators understand these structures, they can use existing relationships, communication channels, and powerful people to get people to use new ideas. Realizing how important clicks, networks, and the stability that comes from the social system are makes it possible to target specific groups and improve the general process of spreading information. Changemakers help get people to use new ideas. They try to have an effect on people in the system by doing 7 things. These roles include recognizing the need for change, building a relationship based on sharing information, diagnosing problems, making a decision to change, turning that decision into action, stabilizing adoption, and stopping people from giving up. In the end, the goal is to have a good bond with clients that lasts. Knowledge, persuasion, engagement, adoption, and confirmation are the 5 different steps in the innovation choice process. The purpose stage is the basis for successful adoption, while the last stage, routinization, shows that the change has been fully integrated and is being used on a large scale. The spread of a thought usually looks like an S-shaped curve over time, which shows how it spreads. Adopter categories divide people into groups based on how much they use something in a social context. We have early users, an early majority, a late majority, and laggards. Early adopters are powerful opinion leaders in social networks, while innovators are bold pioneers. Early adopters tend to be more open to change and have a higher level of education, social standing, and media exposure. They are very important in affecting others through different ways of talking to them. The theory of the spread of new ideas is used in many different areas, like agriculture, medicine, education, communication, and business. It helps us figure out how new technologies were used during the COVID-19 outbreak and in areas like healthcare, energy, information systems, cloud computing, mobile apps, and transportation. Even though it can be used in many situations, the idea of spreading innovations has been criticized. Critics have pointed out 4 major problems: the bias toward innovation, the bias toward assigning blame to individuals, the memory problem, and the problem of equality. To answer these questions, researchers need to use comprehensive study designs, think about institutional and industry policies, and look at how people adopt new technologies as a group. In conclusion, the theory of the spread of innovations gives us important information about how people adopt new ideas. By knowing how these things work, we can make good decisions and come up with good plans in many different areas. Don't forget that information is the key to making progress.